forward with our council meeting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, City of Homestead City Council meeting here Wednesday, December 15th, 2010 at 5:40 in the evening, here 790 Homestead Boulevard, Homestead, Florida. At this time, I would like to ask the city clerk to call the roll.
Councilman Burgess.
Here.
Councilwoman Lobo.
Here.
Councilman Maldonado.
Here.
Councilman Shelley. Councilman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Warman. Mayor Bateman.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Reverend Alexis Talbert, pastor of the First United Methodist Church, will you please come forward? She's going to give the invocation. The Pledge of Allegiance will be given by Councilman Elvis Maldonado and the Police Explorers. We also have a musical presentation by Charter School of Waterstone, so that's a big surprise for us. Okay, without further ado.
Well, first I want to say greetings from First United Methodist Church and Merry Christmas. Blessed Christmas to you all. Let us pray. Savior God, as we contemplate this season and all of our harriedness and frenzy, may we take this moment to focus on the good that we can do in this community, the humility that you even came to this earth with in that manger, in that stable. May we govern, may we lead, may we be servants of you with that same humility. May compassion rule justice and mercy, and may we sense your presence. I pray a blessing in this season for those who are making decisions about our wonderful city. Grant us your peace, and may we be wise even beyond our years. We thank you, Lord Jesus. In your name we pray. Amen.
Homestead Police Honor Guard! Up and up! Walk on! Halt! Forward! Halt! Hey! Halt! Left! Hit! Three there! Halt!
Please join me as we pledge allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Halt! Right! Hit! Forward! Halt!
Please be seated. At this time, we'd like to have the musical presentation to begin. Who's in charge of that? Breezy? Waterstone? Hello?
Ms. Aguilar.
There we are. Okay. Thank you, Pastor Talbert. Thank you, Councilman Maldonado. Thank you, Police Honor Guard. That was not the Explorers. That was the real thing.
Okay, my name is Mr. March. On behalf of the Charter School at Waterstone, we'd like to thank the city mayor for having us again. We're going to sing it. Happy holidays to all. Thanks for having me. Sing two more quick songs. Thank you.
If that doesn't put you in the Christmas spirit, I don't know what does. Wow. Thank you, Waterstone. You have been tremendous. I bring a close to my first year as mayor, and the principal, Ms. Aguilar, the assistant principal, I tell you, you guys you're wonderful. I appreciate the things you've done over the past 12 months for us. Thank you very much. Good job. Okay, this portion, we have our public comment. We have public comment. We have a lot of people here tonight, so if we got just some brief public comment, we have moved the public comment section to the very beginning of our agenda instead of at the end of our agenda. God, if there's no public comment, I'm impressed. We did something in 12 months. Come on. Any public comment? Sure. Please take the podium and state your name and address, sir, for the record.
Good evening. My name is Roy Brown Jr. My address of record is 424 Southwest 11th Avenue in Homestead, Florida, seat number 4, I believe. I'm here tonight very briefly to ask that the mayor and city council waive the $5,000 bond usually required for special events. And that's it.
Okay.
That's waived for the MLK Parade and Festival.
And who have you been in discussion with that on?
Marlene Volkert, and I've had some preliminary discussions with the police department.
Okay, Marlene's not here this evening. Can anyone from the city comment briefly on that for us, please?
Yes, Mr. Manager, I think that the proper thing for this is to be referred to the manager's office and let him come back with speak with the people and come back with a recommendation in accordance with our code.
Yeah, it is an ordinance, so it's something that the manager should come back and make a recommendation to us, and we'll be glad to vote on it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Any questions from council before you go? Anyone else have a question?
Oh, and before I forgot, I have your invitations to the parade, to ride in the parade. I'll have to email them to you because I came straight here from school. I wanted to ask Councilwoman Lobos if she would introduce the movie on the MLK movie night, which is, I can get you the details via email, but it's scheduled for Friday, January the 14th at Roby George Park.
If I'm available, I will go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for
Why would you not be available?
Okay, let me rephrase that. I am available, and I will go ahead and present your movie. Thank you.
I want to know all your business. Why was Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that was good. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. Any further public comment? Yes, please come forward, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Dorothy Diaz. I live at, thank you, Mayor Bateman and city council members and his staff, and of course, all of our wonderful citizens here. I appreciate, and that beautiful singing was marvelous. It put me in the spirit. Helped me to speak. I live at 790 Northwest 9th Court, and of course, it's Homestead, Northwest District, near James Archer Smith Park. I had a few concerns that I have spoken to some of the council members, and also My first concern is the safety in the Northwest District and some of the violence that has been going on there. I know that the police department is doing the best that they can with the amount of people that they have. Our concern right now is there's still a lot of I don't know what the term would be, but we'll go with violence going on in that area. I spoke with the captain also, and I've also obtained records of how many times I've had to call within the last few months, just to call the police for fear that we might be harmed in some way. There are numerous people also. We go to the dog park, and sometimes, we hit the evening hour, and unfortunately, there's been some fighting and various things. I'm sure you're aware of what's been going on there. And the police have stepped up their presence. The problem is, sir, that when they're I believe some of them, I don't know how it works exactly, but if we don't see them in front, if we could get increased presence, because unfortunately, in the Northwest area, as you know, we do have that type of problem going on, and we need your help because our children are there.
Okay.
And we'd like to see them publicly if at all possible, even off-duty police officers. What I'm aware of is that right now there's about 103 officers, and I believe we need about 130 for the amount of people in the city of Homestead. I could be mistaken, and I'll leave it to you all. I'm asking if that's a correct statement. Does anyone know for sure? Am I allowed to ask?
Well, you're sure you're allowed to.
Oh, I am. I wasn't sure,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. No. We're aware of the problem over there. I know the chief has addressed it along with Councilman Shelley.
Right.
And I believe we have stepped up presence over there. And I think whether it's 103 or 133, we need to get to the bottom of the root of the problem, and I think we're on it. Chief, you've addressed it, have you not? Give us a little time to work it. I know that the absence of the hospital with no one there, it's been a real ongoing problem.
Yeah.
That will change this next school year.
Great.
Because Dade County will take that over, and you'll have a full-time presence there. They'll have a security guard, 5 days a week there. So that'll help a little bit there in that area.
We were wondering, sir, too, a few of us have chatted. I'm not a member of a group or anything. I'm just a citizen. We were wondering, sir, if maybe an off-duty police officer or someone that might be able to show some presence, that has some authority, might do some helpful. I've talked to a couple people, and they actually stated that they'd be willing to do that even voluntarily or at a minimum rate. I know that there might be some legalities involved, but sometimes just having that presence there so that our children can have that protection.
Yes, ma'am. Let us work with the chief a little bit more here, and we'll report back to you. Okay? I promise you, we're working hard. I know.
I know. Can I tell you how great our officers are? They're under a lot of stress. I don't know how they do what they do every day.
Thank you.
Because they're the ones between me and a gun.
Right.
And if it wasn't for that, I don't know what I would do.
Right.
There is one other issue or two, but maybe one other, if I could.
Well,
I know that issue was 3 minutes. Would you give me another 30 seconds or
Sure.
one?
Go ahead.
You don't mind?
The floor is
I
yours.
really appreciate that. In our particular area, Northwest 9th Court and 8th Avenue, we're having a problem with the amount of birds and sewer problems also. There seems to be some people that have excessive amount of foul. And I've been dealing with this for 2.5 years where the stench is so bad that, and I have talked with different people about this, that I have a little bit of a low immunity. And some people, I'm sure, I'm sorry that Ms. Waldman isn't here, because anyone with a compromised immunity would even be more apt to get ill. And of course, unfortunately, birds that of this type, not only are they caged, they are also going into the ground and our aquifer system, and we're very deeply concerned about our water system and the fact that it's infecting us. And I know the council is attempting to address this, at least that's my understanding from a meeting at the park about a month ago, but I just don't understand. I know, sir, that unfortunately, if you were at my home, I don't think you would even be able to stand to go outside, and I feel like I'm almost a prisoner in my own house, and it's sad. But also, it's affecting my neighbors, because it is going into our water system, sir.
If you'd allow me to, through the manager, I would like to ask Mr. Bria, since it is a sewer problem, will you take a look at that for me, please, and report back to us?
I have addressed this also with different people also. This wasn't the first time that I have addressed this with the council. I've also gone through the waste management, and, there's just numerous problems at that site next door to me. I guess maybe, I'm not sure what the problem is, why nothing's being done with building and zoning, and I have a whole booklet of complaints about that particular spot, and I'm sure that you guys, because you care, we'll address this.
We will address it, I assure you, and
Okay.
feel free to contact me, and we will contact you. Thank you.
Okay, and one more just little thing, if you don't mind.
Under Mr. Williams' business, no, I'm just kidding. We're sharing your time, real quick.
We are, oh, okay, well, I don't want to take up much of your time.
Oh, we got it.
Again, what I want to say is, I know you guys you gentlemen, ladies, don't let me give you guys,
All the credit.
everyone, I do appreciate what you do for us.
Thank you.
We just need you to consider the Northwest area importantly, because I know as I sat here and I heard tonight about what's going to be going on over at the Speedway, I don't want you to forget about us. Because remember the infrastructure, sir, that what's going to happen is there will be, unfortunately, I'm sorry, as our water tables rise, it just seems like the care and the concern, I've been a resident here for 31 years, has diverted for some time over on the opposite side of US 1. We also need help in the Southwest District, in the Northwest. We are all part of your constituency.
Here. We hear.
And we really, really need that. And the wood poles for the electric that are falling down. I went down a street near the Speedway that has a block of beautiful poles that, guess what? There's not even a house on them that isn't out of use. It's just, I don't know, it's so difficult for all of us to understand. We feel like we've been kind of thrown aside. I know I do, and the people I've talked to. So I'm asking you, when you make your decisions, please consider that we are your long-term residents.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
we
very
really
much.
appreciate you
I
listening
appreciate
to me, and thank you again, everyone, and
Thank
have
you.
a Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving, the next, I'm sorry, any further public comment? Additional public comment? Please come forward. Good evening.
Hello, my name is Loretta Riley.
And I'm Jessica Velasquez.
And we're the founders of I Spoke, which is a new business here in Homestead. We have a couple of offices in the Sierra area and right here in Homestead at 701 South Homestead Boulevard. We just wanted to introduce ourselves and let you know that we're here to help create jobs, businesses, and leaders. We're very young. We're carrying on the inheritance of our grandfathers and our parents. Her father pastored for over 23 years here in Miami-Dade County. My father has for 16 years serving out of a soup kitchen, helping the homeless. And grandfather from the Lester side, they did the Homestead Theater in the early 70s and Homestead newspaper. And we're just here letting you know that we're the newer generation. We're going to carry on the inheritance, helping within our community. And we have a lot of opportunities for the youth as well with young authors because they're entrepreneurs as well. So we thank you, and we just want to introduce ourselves.
No, thank you so much for coming forward. Yes, sir. A holiday season without Mr. Sullivan? No way.
Thank you for that kind greeting,
You're
Mayor.
welcome, sir. You know I love you.
Kevin Sullivan, 1860 Southeast 6th Court. And this being the holiday season, I know many of us contribute to the various toy contributions. But what I'm asking tonight is let's not forget the Homestead Soup Kitchen, because they are serving a lot of people that don't have jobs, don't have homes, and with the last couple of nights out in the Farm Belt, I know the Dade County farm commissioner sitting out there, and I didn't ask him how bad the damage is, but we all know what we see, and that means that we're going to have a lot of workers that won't be working for a few weeks. So if you can find your way to donate to the Homestead Soup Kitchen, I think it's a great time of the year to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tolbert. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am, please. Thank you, Pastor, once again.
Just to inform you all that the Homestead Food Pantry, which is out of First United Methodist Church, has just been USDA approved, and so we are able to give even more food out on a weekly basis. Just wanted to heighten your awareness that we serve on average 450 families. We have 4,000 families in our records that we have served over the last 4 years. If you know of anyone who needs food, please have them come to First United Methodist Church from 9 until noon on Saturday mornings. We're open every Saturday morning. If you have time, we would love to have you come and take a tour, or also to assist. If you are part of a community service organization, we love to have the community service organizations come in. It's a great need in this community, as we've heard about the soup kitchen as well. And we love to serve and would love to have you come on board, and also to have others come. All they need is an ID, and we will serve them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Okay, any additional comments under the public comment section? Okay, with hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on to additions, deletions, and deferrals. We've got item A. Motion to move forward on the item A? Okay, second. Second. Thank you. Madam, Mr. City Manager?
Okay, first we need a vote to add to the agenda, Mr. Mayor.
I didn't know it was an addition. Okay, roll call vote.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, bid number 201021, landscape and irrigation of US 1.
Mayor, Council, there's two pieces to this, really. The first one is the actual reaffirmation that we're asking for, which involves a technical error, which Julio Abrea will explain. But as we discuss this issue, I'd like to also kind of insert a larger question for you regarding the overall bidding process here in the city, because in looking at the language that was in the document, basically your bidding process doesn't necessarily require the lowest price. I know that's been your practice, to have the lowest price with the 10% local exception, the local preference. However, as we start having more bids in the future, at some point I'd like some direction from you if you'd like to continue on with that policy or have the price be the determinative factor, with, of course, including the 10% local preference provision in there, because as it stands now, the language doesn't necessarily mean that the lowest price would get it. So I throw that on the table as well. Julio will explain the technical error that was involved here, and then get some reaction.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. City Manager, if you would like, I would have Jerry go ahead and explain the details of the bidding process and how it implemented this technical error that we have in this particular case. And then I'll come in and I'll give some clarifications regarding some of the deadlines, et cetera, that are required.
Okay. Mayor and Council, good evening. The reason we brought this item back was it was determined that a month ago when this item was first brought before you, there had been a clerical error with regard to the bid tabulation sheet. A 10% local vendor preference had been applied to one of the vendors improperly. The reason for that confusion was that this particular project was not 100% funded by grant monies. It was partially funded by general fund dollars. So the buyer handling the bid believed that the 10% local vendor preference could be applied, which was incorrect. We conferred with staff. One of the issues of concerns that came up was the end date for the application of the dollars provided by the grant portion of the project, which expires on March 31st. So we believed if we went out and rebid this project, okay, that by the time we start the project, which we believe would be mid to end of February, there wouldn't be sufficient time to use those portions of the dollars with regard to the project. So what procurement did, once again, after conferring with staff, was to reconvene the review committee, have them review or assess both vendors without the local vendor preference to see what their determination would be. Once again, they selected the same vendor, which was Valley Crest. Okay? So at that point, we're bringing it back to council, letting you know what transpired at that point to get some guidance from you to whether we go ahead and rebid this project or just council once again reaffirms that we want to go ahead and use this particular vendor and just go ahead and move forward from there.
Council?
Mayor?
Yes, please, Ms. Bubbles.
I had a discussion with the city manager regarding this item, and to me, it's still not clear that the process was followed. I understand the technical error that you just described, and one of the things that has been put on the table is that we have this March 31st, 2011. It would be a deadline. It would be my preference that we rebid this out. I mean, there's this perception that we have not gone with the lowest bidder. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to construction projects, we've always gone with the lowest bidder that is responsible and responsive. And what that means is if we needed an insurance certificate, for example, or some other information, that the vendor would then be responsive in providing that information. And that was the portion of being responsible and responsive that would disqualify them from us going with the lowest bidder. To me, price, as long as they're qualified and as long as they meet all the requirements, price should be the determinant factor as to what vendor we go with. And so, if it's possible, I would ask the city manager to contact FDOT or whoever holds the grant and to have a conversation with them to explain to them what happened and to maybe give us an extension so that we can, it would be my vote to go ahead and rebid this item. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Further response? I've got a question, but I'll hold it. You done? Sure, please go ahead.
Wait a minute. Well, I guess we need to see if we can proceed down that alley, because I also had a conversation with you this morning. But one of the things that I think we need to do also is on these bid tabulation sheets, when people are disqualified, we need a paragraph, a sentence, or something explaining so that when the general public picks up a piece of paper, they're disqualified. Well, why? And we don't end up at a bid that's quite a bit more than what is the lowest bid. We need an explanation given to us and to the public so that everybody can easily pick it up and understand why somebody wasn't allowed to have their bid considered by us. So I think that's one thing we need to do. Secondly, I asked you this morning, are you comfortable or should we be comfortable with this bid going back out or this project moving forward the way it is? And you, with the way that you stated the language it is, we can do that.
Sure.
Am I totally comfortable with that? Probably not. But with the way that the language is written, we have to follow procedure and we follow our rules. It's not for me to come up here and change them in the middle of the game. So
part of the policy determination that I'd like you all to think about, whether it be now or in the future, is that as you select somebody, as you define your process, you need to think through what's most important to you. Is price most important to you? Is speed most important to you? In the future, something like this, in my mind, would be crafted where you'd say, we want the job done by X date, what's your price? So that we eliminate this whole thing, because the selection committee was arguing that, well, since the higher priced person can get the job faster, we'd like that person because it's only $1,000 more. And so in a process that I'm more accustomed to, if speed was an issue for you, you'd put a specific date in there and then ask for the price and say lowest bidder wins. I'm also more accustomed to the information that's received by the elected officials to be more comprehensive, like you mentioned. So as we're getting to know each other and as we start working through some of these processes, you're going to start seeing more information. You're going to start seeing me coming back to you on more often than not with some policy clarification, so I understand your priorities, what's important to you, because at the end of the day, if you say, well, we don't necessarily, if it's a minimal swing, we'd rather have the discretion to do that, then we won't change this process. If in fact you want something that's very strict that says price is everything, then we're going to have to amend the language in our process. If you intend to maintain the 10% local vendor preference, that's okay too. That's a policy decision that you make, so that if you say price is important, but if you are within that 10%, if you're a local vendor, you get the preference, that's okay too. We just need the policy clarification. So as we move forward on these things, we'll get a better sense as to what your will is.
Okay, just finish up to follow Ms. Logos' comments. If the DOT will allow us to go back out, I would like to see this go back out. If it doesn't, then I'm agreeable to go with where we're headed.
And we have one other option, which I hadn't explored with the staff, which is you can opt to go with the lowest price. So I mean, you do have that option as well. Now, what we can do is, if you'd prefer for us to get the information from the state, worst case scenario, if we think we're going to lose the grant, then we'll call a special meeting or try to squeeze it in January. If your will is to have us explore our rebidding process and an extension from the state, but really it's your decision.
Thank you.
Mr.
Manager.
One quick thing, just, in the transparency and all that we like to try to portray up here and all that, I think in my eyes that's the best thing. If the DOT will let us come back out and work on that date, I mean, I understand we're under the March date, but if they will let us work with that, then I think we need to, in my eyes, we need to rebid that out.
Okay. Mr. Manager, just to make you aware of this, and I know Mr. Brea is aware of it, this will be a second extension. This project sat in City Hall through entire 2009. In 2011, there were 2 months left, and Mr. Brea filed for the extension. And we file again, we'll lose about $400,000 of well-deserved landscape projects. What is the difference between the two bids, between a local preference company and the other company? What was the difference? What are we talking here in dollars? Let's be transparent.
It was $1,057.44.
Okay, so for $1,000, we're going to turn to an outside company, rebid this, versus a local company that has probably over 100 employees. Over 100 employees Valley Crest has probably got. And I don't know them from Adam, who owns them, who doesn't own them. But I think we're making a foolish mistake here to go backwards now. It has sat for now almost 2 years. Has it not, Mr. Brea? Almost 2 years in the city of Homestead. And what's the dollar amount? Correct me, I say half, I say 400,000. What is the dollar amount?
The bid is approximately $315,000.
$315,000. Why take that chance for $1,000 when you've got a local company that has over 100 employees here? I don't recommend that, sir. And this council prides itself. It prides itself. The majority of this council voted for 10% preference to all local businesses when it can be used. Granted, if there's a grant involved and it can't be used, I certainly don't want to try to push it. But if it can be used, it needs to be used, because we must support our own. If we don't create our own stimulus package and we don't feed our own people, I promise you, the state of Florida is not handing out dollars. They're not handing. The county's not handing out free dollars. So we worked hard to create $64 million, maybe not of all local preference, but $64 million. 34 of our own projects, correct, Julio? 34, and $30 million of the charter high school, of which the $30 million charter high school agreed to use 70% of local subcontractors. The Roscoe Warren Park, $5 million this year. They agreed to use 70% of local subcontractors. That is what this council has done for this community. And I don't want to see it go backwards, and I don't want to see it take a chance of losing that grant.
And Mayor, I think that's the wonderful part of this policy discussion is what is most important to the policymakers. Is it price? Is it local preference? Is it, do you want flexibility so that if it's only $1,000 difference, you can still make it? You know, that's really the thing that at some point staff will need direction on, so that the next time this thing happens, at least we have some some clarity.
With DOT, it has taken us, it's been like jumping through hurdle after hurdle with this project. And it's a beautiful project. It's completely revamping all of US 1 from city limits to city limits with irrigation, with sustainable landscape and irrigation. I mean, do we want to take that chance of losing it? I think we need to ask ourselves that.
Mayor?
Yes.
Quick question. This is to Jerry. The same persons that did the first tabulation, were they the same that convened the second time?
Right. The review committee consisted of the same 3 members. Just for clarification, no one in procurement ever sits on the review committee. Procurement sits there as a facilitator. What we do is get individuals, whether managers, directors, individuals who are familiar with that particular service and type of project, and they sit on the review committee. We provide them all the bid documentation. They look at it, and they go ahead and determine which is the most qualified vendor.
Okay, and they came back with the same recommendation?
Correct.
Another question then, if that is the case, is there a reason why you use the same review committee?
They were familiar with the project already. Yes, sir.
I guess that's what my issue would be. If you go back and you use the same 3 people, there's already a I don't want to say they're already familiar with it, and I don't think it gives equal weight to it. If you go back and use the same 3, I just trying to understand the process of it.
Well, Mr. Williams, I understand your concern. Once again, these are individuals that are familiar with public works projects. That's number one, why they were included. And the other thing was that listening to the review committee tapes, it was quite evident that the local vendor preference was not the primary reason they selected the vendor. There was the time issue with how quickly the vendor could mobilize, past experience from the vendor or the vendor's sister company. And once again, the price difference was so close, $1,000, and one was a local vendor and one was not. Taking the local vendor preference away, the committee was unanimous, once again, in their selection for this particular vendor.
Okay, well, with that, then I think that, under the unusual circumstances of this of the project, that we go ahead and move forward with, because, I mean, this is, hesitantly, I do not, I want to send it out for bid, but I'm reluctant too because of the past 2 extensions that we have already done. So I think we need to just go ahead and move forward with this and take this as a learning lesson to us, that we make sure that we, don't have that oversight again. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mayor?
Mr. Williams. Yes, Ms.
If I
Lopez.
may, thank you. The question was asked, what's the most important thing? And the most important thing to me is to do the right thing, to do things right, and making sure that we are following procedure. The 10% local preference was voted unanimously by everybody, so obviously it's important to all of us sitting at this dais. And out of the $316,000 project, the grant funding is $228,000. Now, understandably, I have been informed that there could be an extension to this expiration date that was set. All I'm asking is that that question be answered, if it can be extended. And then another thing is, for $1,000, I understand that just on price factor, what is at stake here is not the price, it's the transparency factor of this bidding process. That's what's at stake here. And so based on that, how can you put a price on that? If we have a deadline that can be adjusted by a simple phone call, making sure that if we can have a yes or no answer for the sake of transparency, for the sake of ensuring that we're doing things right, why wouldn't we go in that direction? That is my preference, that is my vote. I have said that I would like for that question to be answered, whether we can extend or not. And if we can extend again, then preferably that's the direction that I would like to take.
Mr. Manager. Mr. Manager, Mr. Attorney, what are we doing wrong? Because I keep hearing that we're doing something wrong. What are we doing wrong It's either we vote up or down on taking the local vendor. We're not doing anything wrong, are we?
You're not doing anything wrong. I mean, however you vote.
There's
on
no
it,
wrong or right here.
The way the bid documents are written, it gives the council, the city, great discretion, so there's not a legally wrong answer here.
So please, council, don't think that there's something wrong here. There's nothing wrong. It's you decide you're going to spend $1,000 more to get it done by the most responsive bidder who came to the table, according to our selection committee, at $1,000 difference on a $300,000 job. So I think keep that in mind when you vote it up or down.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
just want to get Julio to go ahead and chime in on this.
Sure, I would like, since the issue regarding the extension of the grant keeps coming up, I can't speak for DOT at this time, but I know in the past, when we went for this, the last time we got the extension, DOT was very clear to us saying that we're in competition with other cities, other government agencies for the same dollars, and with the economy the way it is, the state is holding on to the dollars as much as possible to be on their side. We got this money already on our side, and I'm very concerned as to go back to them and ask for another extension, because they might just say no at that time, and then we would have lost in the process another month, and if we need to bid it out, it requires additional time to go through the new bids, get all the documentation from all the bidders, etc. So it could put us to the point that we have basically a month to spend the grant money. And that's my concern. Now, I wasn't in the selection committee, but looking at the tabulation, there's the price, and then there's the time to mobilize on these two particular bids. These are $1,000 apart, and one had a 2-week mobilization time, and the other one a 60-day mobilization time. So if we were to give it to what it's on the tabulation as the lowest bidder, just based on price, we would have to wait 60 days for them to begin, based on their own information that they gave us. The other company, which was $1,000 more, had a 2-week period for mobilization, and that, to me, that is in this particular case is very important, because time is of the essence.
Excellent. Yes, Mr. Maldonado.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Julio. With this information that was presented today, I'm comfortable in moving forward with what we have now. Obviously, we have a new city manager in place who is going to help us work out these policies, and so we'll be able to work on that. With the price difference that we're looking at right here, I understand the transparency issue, but nonetheless, I think we should move forward with the information that was presented. Valley Crest is a very reputable company. I know Waterstone, who prides itself on the way it looks, uses Valley Crest as well, and that's right next to where I live. So I've seen it work, and they actually have done work where I live as well, the states of Mendocino, and they did great work. So a local company doing great work. They're a very reputable company. So with that, my recommendation would just go ahead and continue with what we have right now, and again, we'll go back to working on the policy and hammer that out. Thank you.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I do have one more point of clarification, because obviously I don't come to the dais and just speak from my own information. I've asked questions, and the staff has answered those questions. It was my understanding from the presentation that the staff did for me through the city manager that this date was flexible, that could possibly be flexible, that there could be a phone call made. So if that wasn't the case, that should have been the answer when I asked it. It's not flexible. We've already done it. We don't feel comfortable going back to ask. If it's an option presented to me at the time of review of this item, then to me it's an option in my mind. I come to the dais thinking that it's an option that we can pursue. If that phone call is not going to be made, if staff is not comfortable making that phone call, if they deem that phone call will result in negative impact, then that's not an option. It should not be presented as an option to go in this direction with this item, correct?
Well, the semantics here is that he's speculating right now as to what he thinks, but certainly we won't know a definitive answer unless we call. So I think that's really the fine line here of he's saying he thinks if he's going to get a negative reaction, but I don't think he can say with 100% certainty tonight that the answer would be no, and the only way we'd know that is if he calls.
So question, then you're still waiting on us to give you some direction, right? Okay. So then we cannot move forward unless the call is made to satisfy some of my colleagues' reservation. Is that what I'm hearing as part of an option? Because if you bring it back to us, we've already voted on it. And so where do we go from here then?
Well, if a majority, we need 4, is if majority, say move forward with the staff's recommendation, you need 4 or do you need
Actually, 3
3.
because there's only 3 tonight.
So can we roll call vote?
Only have 5 here.
Yeah, I'm not going to open it up to public.
So if the majority says move forward as the staff recommends, then that would be enough. If you say you'd like us to make the phone call first and you'd rather hold, then what we can do is make the phone call, find out if they'll extend or not, come back to you at an appropriate time. If they say no, we may have to call a special meeting, but I guess as long as you're amenable to that, we certainly could do that.
Yeah, I don't think we have another meeting, do we, before the first of the year?
No, without a special meeting, you'd have to call a
I
special.
think most of us are gone. Yes,
Would
Mr. Mulder.
would you need would we need a motion right now in order so right now we're looking for a motion?
We need to first open it to the public, get the public hearing.
I have a comment too. This may help Mr.
Go ahead,
Williams.
Mr. Mulder. You finish?
Yes.
Yes, Mr.
I've never even been told about a deadline or an extension.
Two.
So that was first brought to my attention right here tonight. Perhaps the manager didn't know about it this morning, but that's never been brought to my attention. And in light of the negative impact that the vote could bring tonight if we didn't okay this, then I'm kind of left with no choice but to move forward without having an answer from the DOT. So I don't know if that eases Mr. Williams. I mean, I'm flabbergasted that we're back here voting on this again, and that I'm finding information out sitting here tonight. I don't even know where to go with it.
And over $1,000.
Right. But, you know, these facts need to be out there, and I understand, Mr. Manager, you've only been here several weeks. Why is it, there's nowhere in here in any paperwork that I've gotten that there's ever been a deadline of March, whatever, or that we asked for an extension already. And that's just unexcusable.
If I can, one of the things that we're going to work through together as a group is to try to get these packets into a more comprehensive form, and we're working with the staff on that, and there's going to be some growing pains along the way, but the expectation would be we get to some point in the future where you're not upset that there's not enough information.
It's not that I'm upset, but I can't make a honest and judgeful vote up here tonight without having all the information prior to me walking up here and getting stuff put at me as I sit here. But it means that we are or even have a 60% chance of losing this money, then I'd have to vote yes tonight. I'm put in a corner. And I'm all right with that to a degree. And we'll discuss that somewhere else. That's not to be discussed here. But, I mean, if that eases anybody's mind, that's where I'm at. I mean, some of this news is brand new to me tonight.
I hear you.
And I had a meeting this morning and specifically asked about this.
Other comments?
Okay, if there's no further discussion, I'll open the public hearing. If anyone has anything to say for or against in this particular item. Item number 201021, landscape and irrigation of US 1 quarter. Hearing none and seeing none. Oh, hold on. Yes, sir. State your name and
My name is Julius Riley. Been in Homestead for the last 30 or 40 years. And I agree. The local want to have the bid and they support the community in jobs and stuff. I'm with it 100%.
Thank you, sir. Okay, with the public hearing closed now, any final comment from council before we do roll call vote? Hearing no final council. Yes, Madam Clerk, yes?
I need a motion.
Okay, let's one more question from Ms. Lovelace.
No, I wanted to follow up on Mr. Burgess' comments to the city manager in that I feel comfortable with the conversation that we've had regarding the things that you will look at the city procedure, and I know we've discussed this extensively. Like Councilman Burgess, I was trying to go on information that the staff had provided for me. I obviously am not trying to make anybody's job harder. I'm not trying to make your job harder. I know this is your third week here, and I think that so far from what I've seen, you've done a spectacular job. With everything that's been presented to you. So in support of the city manager and in confidence that you will resolve these issues going forward, I'm going to support this, but I do want resolution to some of the items that have been brought to light on some of the issues that you've discovered.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lobos. Madam Clerk, we need a second motion, please.
I'll move it.
Thank you. Second? Second. Mr. Williams, thank you. Roll call vote, please, it requires.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobo?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, next item, special presentations. Look. Okay, if there's no objections, we'll take the special presentations out of order. We had Police Department and State of the City Address Awards, but we're going to move to Ms. Lobos, Commissioner Linda Bell, presentation by Ms. Lobos. Commissioner Bell, will you please come forward?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, thank you for letting her go first. She has her grandkids here that need to get to church. It is Wednesday night, and so I would like to reintroduce someone that certainly does not need an introduction to the City of Homestead, former Mayor and now County Commissioner Linda Bell. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be back here at Homestead City Hall. What a delight. I only have 6 of my grandchildren here in the room tonight, and they're all hungry right about now. You know, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Homestead. Thank you for getting out, and thank you for voting. I overwhelmingly won the City of Homestead, all the Redlands, Cutler Bay, Kendall Falls. Just this area really came out for me, and I just want to say thank you for that. And as Commissioner Linda Bell, I will not let you down. And Commissioner Moss and I, we both represent the City of Homestead, and we both will represent you very, very well. I'm so excited to represent not just Homestead, but all of District 8 in Miami-Dade County, which is the largest district of the 13 commission districts. So what an honor and what a privilege it is to stand here before you and represent you now, after being the vice mayor, councilman, and then mayor of Homestead, and then losing a year ago. Let's just, tell it like it is. And coming back to win this huge prize, the commission seat, is just such an honor and such a blessing. And believe you me, I count my blessings. And it's so wonderful to look out in this room and see so many friends. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see all the friendly faces here. Thank you for coming out tonight. You really, really made my night. There's nothing better to me than public service. And I had so many people say when I decided to just jump right back in, are you crazy? And I said, I do believe the jury is still out on that one. But for me, and maybe it is a little bit of insanity, but public service is truly a joy for me. I really love public service. I love people. I love serving people. And I think in each and every one of the population out there, there's just a lot of good in everybody. A lot of good. It's so fun to see the orange shirts back there. Thank you. And I want to tell you that the Commission Bell District 8, we did our own little local stimulus package, and we put to work some local residents, and a couple of them are familiar with the City Hall, and Sandy Silvestri, who was a former executive assistant, is now my executive assistant. Thank you, Sandy. And Joanna Faddis, the former deputy city manager, is now my senior policy analyst. So there's our stimulus package. And we have another Homestead resident we put to work, and that's Maurice Hernandez, who handles all of my public relations. He does all my correspondences, and he just stays very, very busy. Maurice, thank you so much. Anyway, I could stand up here and talk, but I just want to say, Mayor, Council, it is my pleasure to serve you. Thank you so much for your gracious cards congratulating me. I just thank you so much. And Mr. Williams, congratulations to you on your appointment to the League of Cities.
Thank you.
And you'll be getting a congratulatory card from your commissioner.
Thank you.
Pay that right away. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for just welcoming me. Oh, I am so sorry. Miss Lois Jones, also a Homestead resident, is in charge of my constituent affairs. And let me tell you, if there's a constituent in need, Lois Jones will take care of the package in District 8. One final note, we were trying to do a little bit of research, and there's not much in the annuals or chronicles, but we believe that there hasn't been any representation on the county commission from the South Dade area since the 1950s. So it's well been over 60 years since you've had somebody literally in your backyard representing you. So anyway, I just want to tell you, Homestead, you have someone who has your back on the county commission. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Bell. Do we have, tonight is, I saw earlier Ms. Marsicano here. Is Ms. Marsicano? She left? Okay. And Corey Gold? Is Corey Gold here? Okay, Corey Gold. God bless you, Corey. I'm one of them. And Roscoe Warren? No, Roscoe, okay.
Who's next? I think everyone was at the polls with her. There's all the same people at the polls with her.
Okay, at this time, we're going to move the agenda around a little bit, but I'd like to call Corey Gold up if I would. I've got a little presentation. This is our Citizen of the Year right here, the Man of the Year, the City of Homestead, for the Chamber of Commerce. But he's my Man of the Year, too, because when I reached out to him and asked him to be the Master of Ceremonies for the State of the City address, he was away. He was actually leaving on a trip and said, I get back the night before. He goes, but I'll do it, Mayor. And he did an outstanding job, yeoman's job, and I appreciate you, Mr. Gold. You're always there. And that is why you were selected the Man of the Year for the Chamber of Commerce. And I've got a little plaque for you that I put together. And it's just in sincere appreciation for what you did. He stepped up to the plate, and it's a little plaque. You can hang a picture of me on your wall with you next to me that talks about how appreciative the city and I am for the things that you do for us, and we appreciate it very much.
It's actually my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now, at this time, what I'd like to do is just take the agenda again out of line a little bit, and if we could move down to the announcement of the Public Power Contest, the winners of the Public Power Contest. Mr. Maldonado, you're going to do that for us? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm doing this on behalf of Judy Wallman. She's absent today, and this announcement is the winners of the Public Power Poster Contest for the Public Power Week that we had a few weeks ago. Public Power Week is a time to celebrate with your community the advantage that locally owned and operated electric utilities provide. It is also the perfect time to educate the community about the value of public power. This year, Homestead Electric Services sponsored a poster contest for the local students in the 5th grade. Over 200 students from the 10 different schools participated. There were 3 categories for the poster categories. Those categories were energy conservation and efficiency, staying safe around electricity, and electrical hurricane preparation. Tonight, we are here to announce the winners. As I call your name, please come up to the podium. In the category of energy conservation and efficiency, first place winner, Elizabeth Segundo. Please come up. Congratulations, Elizabeth. If you want, you can stay up here because I want to take a picture. First place winner, Elizabeth Segundo. And please, as you come up, show off your artwork. Second place winner, Anna Yanika Smith. She here? There she is. Congratulations. Let me step back for 1 second. Elizabeth attends Gateway Environmental, and Anna Unica Smith, Chapman Elementary. So we want to recognize the schools as well that the kids are participating. Third place winner, Jonisha Jean-Baptiste. There she is. That was in the category of energy conservation and efficiency. In the category of electrical hurricane preparation, first place winner, Jacqueline Otero, Camel Drive Elementary. She's not here. We have the teacher here. Thank you. And our miss, of course. Our principal is here. Thank you. And second place winner, Samantha Beatrice Bertiz. Thank you. Samantha attends Gateway Environmental. Bertiz, right? Congratulations. Third place winner, Gabriela Espada. She's not here. Also from Gateway Environmental. I mean, we have the artists for Gateway here. Great.
They're in the holiday show.
Thank you. Okay, and want someone to bring Jacqueline Zanteros, Camel Drive Elementary, would you? Your name? Amy. Say again? Chavarria. Thank you. Good, great work. Okay, in the category of staying safe around electricity, first place winner, Gabrielle Gaitan. Is she here? Gabriel Gaitan is Camel Drive Elementary. Camel Drive Elementary. Second place winner, Brandon Valerio, Air Base Elementary. Brandon here? Yes, there he is. Congratulations, Brandon. Let's go with that first. Congratulations, Brandon. Air Base Elementary. Third place winner, Natalie Rivera. She here? Natalie Rivera? She's not here, also from Air Base Elementary. We want to thank her for that. Now, the winner for the best overall poster was and is Danielle Williams. Danielle Williams? Danielle's not here on behalf of our Gateway Environmental. There he is. Great. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Hold on. We're going to see. Everyone, let me get behind you. Move up a little bit. Let's move on up a little. All right. We're going to get a picture. Let's see those prizes. See the picture. All right. Come on, big smile. Excellent. Congratulations, everyone. Okay, Barbara Quinones. Would you like to say a few words on public power? Thank you. Oh, wait.
Thank you, Councilman. And thank you to all the children that turned in the artwork. As was mentioned, we had over 200 entries, and they were all beautiful. These are the best of the best, but if you would have seen the others, the competition was very, very stiff. And we appreciate the support of the schools and the teachers and the executive director. And we appreciate the school board's support and Councilman Maldonado's support, as well as Vice Mayor Judy Waldman. We had a great event this year with Public Power Week, and are looking forward to more of the same in the future. Thank you very much.
Once again, thank you to the schools that were involved. I know it takes a lot of effort to be involved, and we really appreciate your support. I think it's a great platform. It's something that we're going to continue to work on. As chair of the Education Committee, and one of the goals is to continue to recognize the students who do a great job in our schools. We want to highlight the schools, highlight the children, and all the great work that's being done. So with that, thank you for all your support and all your help. And tomorrow I'll be at Camel Drive Elementary handing out gifts. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman, and thank you, Barbara Quinones. Great job. Without further ado, I'd like to call out the patient ones, Homestead Police Department Honor Guard, who represented us very well tonight in the Pledge of Allegiance. The Honor Guard, would you please come out?
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the Homestead Police Honor Guard, I would like to first thank Chief Alexander Roll for his continued support and leadership. Under his leadership and with the support of his command staff, we have represented the police department and the city of Homestead with pride and honor. We are here for the citizens of Homestead, and under the direction of the council, mayor, and city manager, we have and will continue to represent this city, its citizen, and all our fellow officers with the respect and honor that they have earned. The Homestead Honor Guard presents the U.S., state, and city flags during special events and ceremonies. However, the hardest and most difficult times is when we represent our city, citizen, and fellow officers when an officer has fallen in the line of duty. It is at that time that we step up and show the appreciation that the citizens, its council, and the police department of our fine city has for the officer's sacrifice. Regardless if the officer is from another agency, we're all brothers and sisters who wear a badge for all our citizens, and we're prepared to die for your safety. The Homestead Honor Guard has attended the National Memorial Service for police officers in Washington, D.C. We represented the citizens, the city council, the mayor, and our fellow Homestead police officer as our position states, as honor guards. My fellow honor guard members that are here today, Detective Raul Cabrera, Detective Eric Rodriguez, and Officer Mike Youngton, and myself, to Washington, D.C. for the past 3 years with the support of our citizen and this council. Mayor and our Chief of Police, and most important, our FOP Lodge number 13 and our fellow officers who stepped up to the plate during these financial difficult times and paid for part of our trip to Washington, D.C. They have paid for our hotel, and my fellow Honor Guard members and I and other members have paid for our own fare. The past president of the Homestead FOP, Major Kennedy, and the board members, along with the entire membership, has always voted unanimously to support and pay full part of our trip to Washington, D.C. Once again, I would like to thank them and our fellow officers of the Homestead Police Department for their support. The City Council, the Mayor, the City Manager, and the Chief of Police supported us by giving us the time to attend the events and ceremonies in Washington, D.C. on behalf of the city and its citizens. This past year, our City and Honor Guard stepped up again to the call and officiated over the burial of one of our local citizens, Deputy Misty Powers. She was killed in the line of duty. Her spouse, Lazaro Guerrero, is a Homestead police detective and was my partner when we investigated robberies together. This year, he will respond to Washington, D.C. with their daughter, Autumn, and his father-in-law, Bob, so her name can be engraved and officially placed on the national monument that now holds 18,838 officers who died in the line of duty for the American citizens while defending and enforcing our U.S. Constitution and our laws. I hope this year this council and citizens will once again support our trip to Washington, D.C. with our fellow officer, Detective Laz Guerrero, and his entire family. I would like to once again ask the council for their support, and I know they will give it to us as they have in the past. When we were in Washington, D.C., the one story I'd like to share with the council and the mayor, a little child about hip high, she must have been 6 or 7 years old, came up to the honor guard, and she was wearing a plate because her father had passed or was killed in the line of duty. This memorial is with thousands of officers and their family members who support these officers and Washington, D.C. during this difficult time. She looked at us, and she had a bunch of pins on her from throughout the state and through other countries. One of our honor guard placed that pin on her as well from Homestead. She looked at us and told us, "My daddy was a police officer too. He's now a police angel in the sky." So that tells us what we do and why we go there in all that 1 second of time. Detective Laz Guerrero would like to be here today, but he can't be here today because he is working with our SIU undercover operation as we speak. He'd like to thank the mayor and the citizen, especially the mayor that day, that showed up to his spouse's funeral and gave kind words, along with our chief of police. With that, I would like to give this appreciation from our honor guard and on behalf of our entire police department to the city council and to our mayor. And once again, Mayor, we appreciate your support, and the council has stepped up and has supported the police department and has been honored, and they are honorable for all the promises that they made to this point to the police department, even during these difficult times, and we understand that. And we are proud of you, Mayor, and the council for sticking by your word prior to being elected. And you've been by that word, and we hope you continue with that. To the new city manager, welcome to our new city. You will see the relationship that our chief Will has made through this police department and through his leadership and his command staff. We have a different working relationship with our council and with our citizens. We're absolutely here for our citizen, and that's due part a lot because of our chief of police and his continuous long service. Chief, if you would stand up or come up here, please. This is when we were in Washington, D.C., and we photographed and we've taken in front of the U.S. Capitol. And during those ceremonies, as we listened to our presidents and Congress and other people place the roll call fallen officers onto the memorial. And it says here, certificate of appreciation presented on this 17th day of May, 2010, to Chief Alexander Roll for the dedication and continued support of the Homestead Police Honor Guard. We thank you, sir. No, I don't want to take up much more of your time, but along with the mayor to represent, we would like the city council to come up because you're really part of our family in the police department as well, with our chief and with our mayor, so we can present our appreciation to you as well. This is also from our Honor Guard Certificate of Appreciation. It is presented to the City of Homestead for your dedication and continued support of the Homestead Police Honor Guard. May God bless you and hope you continue supporting our Honor Guard and our Police Department, Mayor. Also the City Council, thank you for your support. Yes, sir.
Any council would like to say anything, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I come from the background of a police family. My father spent 27 years as a police officer, 10 of it here in Homestead, and it's a tough job. It's a tough job. And if you think about it, the officer who makes that stop 30 minutes before it ended his shift, and he has to get into some kind of altercation that may take him down the ground or who knows, and an arrest made. And think about when he signs off at the end of that day and he goes home. That's not a normal job. You go home with a very, angered feeling and confused feeling. And I know it. I lived over 20 years with the police officers as my father. Like I said, very tough job. I respect what you do. I honor what you do, and you've got my support. And if any of the council would like to speak, please feel free. Okay, with that said, thank you all very much. And you tell Mr. Capero, my heart's with him.
Chief, go ahead and stay up here if you would. If I could call Colonel Jose Monteagudo to come up and help me, please. Thank you, sir. Colonel Monteagudo is the vice wing commander out there at the air base and will be leaving us soon. So I also not only want to have you present these awards tonight and stuff, but I want to tell you thank you for all that you've done here in Homestead, and thank you for all that you'll continue to do by serving us people as you keep freedom for us. So thank you, sir, very much. You'll be moving on to Arizona. At this time, I'd like to call Captain Kevin Kent up also. The reason these gentlemen are here tonight, and Elizabeth eventually, are to thank our officers. We had 24 officers that worked escorts for the Blue Angels during the air show on their out of their own time, and they helped the air show, the act, get down here safely from Coral Gables where they were staying. And I'd also like to thank Officer Cruz and the Coral Gables motors that helped them. So if I could get Sergeant Tommy Sermon to come up here. Tommy was the one that was instrumental in putting this together for the city and making sure that everything went off without a hitch with his communication with the air base. So thank you. I guess you guys can do that. I'd like to call Officer Cruz up. I know that he's on duty, and Coral Gables is probably wondering where he is right now. And he's got a little bit further trip to make home for us. So in our appreciation for everybody that's done it, the Blue Angels have come up with they've given everybody an autographed picture of the Blue Angels, and they'll also get a coin and a patch, which is a monument, a memento of the air show that they give out. So at this time, I'll go ahead and take care of Officer Cruz. I could. For the Coral Gables Motors unit, continue that, take back and tell everybody thank you very much for their help and their time. It certainly was appreciated. And I didn't know till Chief Roll told me that you were a Homestead candidate at one time. I couldn't afford you, so thank you very much. If I could get the officers that are still here to come up, and we'll present you guys also. While we're doing that, I'd like to give Captain Kent and Chief Roll, if you guys could come over here for a minute. I know Captain Kent worked very long hours out there in the command center on behalf of the Blue Angels, and Colonel Montegudo from the base. We'd like to give you guys a picture to put in the hallways over there at the station, and say thank you very much for your leadership and allowing your officers to help out with this task that we gave them. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Did he go? Did he leave?
And John, while you're getting the next award, I'd just like to say that the air show brought into our community over 400,000 people. So that was a big, big economic impact.
I would just like to recognize the officers that are here that gave their time. We've got Sergeant Tommy Sermon, who I said was the organizer and all that. Sergeant Tony Trad and his daughter Samantha. Thank you, Samantha, for being such a help. Officer Brian Kennedy, John Buchanan, Paul Hernandez, Officer Alex Marguito, Officer, I call him Frenchie because I can't say his whole name, Jean-Luc Benaire. All right. Manny Figueroa, Victor Lugo, despite taking a hard time out there in the morning. Howard Diener, Officer John Pepper, and Officer Todd Green is in the back there. I see him also. And we have pictures for them also for every individual to take home with them that the Blue Angels sent down.
Brian is a funny guy.
Great. So with that, I'd also, Colonel Montegudo, thank you very much. And I know that you have a presentation to the city, and I know that Elizabeth Moizinski is going to help you with that, so I'll turn the mic over to you.
Thank you very much. Mayor Bateman, council members, thank you for having us. It's great to be behind the podium, something unofficial, so it's great to be here, talking again to the city of Homestead. As you guys know, and you mentioned, we had our air shows our second year after 17 years of not doing this, and it's something that General Binger came up with, as you know, a year ago, to help us get the community back into what we do here in Homestead. Obviously, the city of Homestead's been here a very long time, and the base obviously is the name named after the town, which we're very, very proud of. With that in mind, this air show has been a success for 2 years in a row, thanks to the help and the support of the community. I mean, I can tell you that. I've been here for 14 years, and as Councilman Burgess said, I'm about to leave, and I leave with a feeling of regret in a way that because I'm disappointed that I won't be able to take this support that we get from the city with me, and I'm going to miss you. Having said that, I know that you're going to continue to support the city, or at least the air base, in what you do. We can't do it without you. 400,000 people this year, and now we're talking about, even more the following years to come. So thank you. I know Elizabeth's got a presentation for your support. I'm going to let her speak for 2 seconds if she has some words to say. But once again, Cole Lindbergh couldn't be here to say thank you, but from the bottom of my heart, can't do it without you.
Thank you, Colonel.
Cole.
Mayor, Council, City Manager, Alina. And all I have to say is that Homestead Services, which now is the Force Support Squadron, is very pleased to thank you and is very honored of your sponsorship for the last 2 years. We'd like to present to you all the framed poster with the coin to the City of Homestead for the support and hope to have your continued support in the future. It brings a lot of money to the local economy, and we're just pleased to have you all. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and I want to thank you for all the hard work that you do out there. I know that you came in kind of towards the end last year and went in running and made it great last year, but this year was even greater, so thank you for all that you do, not just with the air show, but for all that you do for the community, because you do a lot of other things, so thank you. And Colonel, we will miss you, sir. Thank you again for everything that you've done and everything that you will continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Colonel, I'm going to miss you. Tell my buddy Derek right home I said hello.
Now, to continue along with the air show theme, Mayor.
Yes, please.
The city had put a booth out there to let people know who we were, and I'd like to take this time now to recognize them. And the City of Homestead participated as a sponsor of the Wings Over Homestead Air Show. We were very proud and honored to support this event and our military personnel in our community. Ms. Moisinski, the coordinator, was very instrumental in assisting to promote our city. She went beyond the call of duty to ensure that every detail the city needed to make this event a success was taken care of. And because of that, we would like to recognize her and our city staff who volunteered their time at no charge to provide the information and answer questions and promote our city in a very positive way. So with that being said, if I could get Alana Bello, Lourdes Lanio, Stacy Palmer, Anna and Enrique, and I'm not going to butcher your last name, Anna. Priscilla Thompson, Elizabeth Sewell, and Stephanie Abate to come up and receive their certificates. I certainly would appreciate it.
Thank you. Did you get it, one? It's beautiful pose.
There's no pictures. Okay. One more.
Thank you, staff, for helping out. Thank you so much.
With that,
Okay, that concludes special presentations, and we're going to move into the consent agenda.
Mayor?
Yes, please.
I have to withdraw myself because there's 2 items on the consent agenda that I cannot vote on.
Okay, well, we've got a quorum. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. All right, Mr. Williams, give him a chance to leave the room, and we'll take a motion on approval of the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent
Thank you.
agenda.
Second. Thank you. Discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. Tell Mr. Williams he can come back in now. It's quick out. Okay. Let's move into public ordinances. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll entertain a motion. No, public ordinances. Ordinance land use items, quasi-judicial. Richard? No? None? Okay. With that said, I'm going to move into legislative matters. There's none.
None.
Business to city manager. Please, Mr. City Manager, say something for us.
Mayor, Council, first of all, thank you for your support tonight, and since I've been here, I really appreciate your guidance and your wisdom, and we're going to continue to move forward. I did want to point out, we had a city employee by the name of Angel Perez who lost his son in a very tragic accident, and many of us went to the funeral to grieve with the family, and it was a really terrible thing, and our hearts and prayers go out to the family. And watching this thing unfold and being there, I have to say it's really puts things in perspective, particularly this time of year, to understand how short life is. And so just kind of thinking in that, I just wanted to wish you all a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and looking forward to a new year.
I'm sorry, Mayor, can I?
Please.
Mr. Manager, this is news for me about the employee and the son. If perhaps next time, if you can send an email out to all of us so that we can send our condolences as council members and mayor, that would be, great.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. City Attorney?
No report.
Okay. Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me thank each of my colleagues and for the tremendous work as this year closed. We had tremendous strides our first year on council, and let me thank each of you for what you have done, and also I look to the new year for the endless possibilities, and I'm so glad that we have a good city manager that he's selling it in at this moment. And I want to thank each and every last one of the employees, directors, for such an outstanding year, and I wish you and your family the best and a wonderful new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Councilwoman Lobos.
Thank you, Mayor. I had the pleasure of meeting with the Lay Group today regarding the stadium of the city of Homestead, and so that kind of brought to mind that we do have some pending business with the Charter Schools USA. That part of their lease agreement was that we would entertain a proposal from them, and if they would decline, we would be able to move forward. And I know that the deadline was, I believe, today. So through the city manager, Mayor, if it's okay with you, I would like an update as to what is to follow, how we're going to move forward with some of these groups that have contacted us and want to move forward on the stadium deal. Thank you.
Sure. Unless there's any objection, the plan is, first of all, as of 4:30 today, we had not received an offer. So I'm assuming as of tomorrow we'll have the confirmation. From there, our plan was to gather up all the entities that have expressed interest, work with the clerk's office to schedule a time to have presentations with the mayor and council, have all the information provided to you, and then you can give us some direction on where you'd like to go from there. And our hope would be sometime early January, unless you wanted to do that sooner, but I know with the holidays and conflicts, it might make more sense to do that in early January, but certainly your will.
Okay, thank you. And then, Mayor, I just have one last comment to echo on what Councilman Williams has already said. I just am very appreciative of everybody. I know it's sometimes a hard job. We come in and out and expect a lot of our staff, and I know I'm expecting a lot of the city manager. So I just want to say thank you, and to the city attorney, the city manager, your staff, and my colleagues, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and a wonderful and Happy New Year.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Burgess.
Thank you. First, welcome to our new city manager. You've hit the ground running, and thank you for that. To the rest of the staff, I want to say thank you to you guys also, and wish each and every one of you a very happy holiday season and a safe one. So, and with that said, I'd like to thank the crew, I guess Dennis and his crew and the electrical guys that helped with 2 tremendous tree lightings that we had here. We had a nice tree lighting out in front of the City Hall last week, and a beautiful crowd down for a beautiful night at Losner Park last week also. So I'd like to thank all the crews and employees that helped put that and move that forward and made it into a very big success for the city and all its participants. So thank you to you guys. And one last thing is I know that we have moved the city's designation over to Elvis Maldonado for the Miami-Dade League of Cities, but we fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we'll have 2 representatives down there next year, as I was appointed to the executive committee
Outstanding.
for the next year. Maybe we can get crack the whip on them down there and get them down this way a little more often. But anyway, so with that, Elvis and I will be down there tag team and trying to see what we can do through the League of Cities, along with our cohort, Jimmy Williams, down there on the financial end of it also. So.
Excellent. Good job.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank
With
you,
that,
sir.
happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Mr. Maldonado.
This group is definitely engaged in the city. I can't believe it's been a year already. I mean, it's gone by. And with that, it brings great joy to me that I've been able to serve my first year for the city. It's been fulfilling to be involved in the issues and making sure our city's moving forward. With that, congratulations to the city manager. We obviously you're welcomed, and we're looking forward to working with you in this next year. So congratulations, and thank you for being here on your first meeting. You've done a great job so far. Just started. With that, I'd also like to thank the staff, not only our directors that are sitting here, but also everyone who works under you. I would like to thank everyone for their hard work this year. I know it's been a lot of work, and we could look behind us and we could see that we've made a difference this year. The city is definitely turning around and looking good, and it makes me proud to know that we have a great staff that is working hard on the behalf of the citizens of Homestead. I'm a citizen, and as a citizen, I'm happy with what I see. So with that, thank you. I want to wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and don't drink and drive.
Thank you, Mr. Maldonado. Thank you very much. I've got a couple letters of recognition here. One of them by the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission that used our city council chambers here, and they just say kudos to staff. We are deeply impressed by the gracious support provided by all the members of the City Hall staff. It's signed by Roy Hawkins, Chief Administrative Judge. I know that they were very pleased and very honored by the support that we gave them the day that they had a house full here, looking into the future expansion of FP&L. So with that said, thank you, staff. I've got 2 letters that were sent to the mayor on behalf of Tom Lampert. Tom Lampert, both of them, kudos that all of their dealings with the Development Services Department, Sergio, that they reach out to Mr. Lampert and say what a unbelievable gracious individual that he is. One of them is from Ludovici and Ludovici, a local law firm, and one of them is from Specs Incorporated. Again, just kudos to Tom Lampert. And I hear it every day on the street, but I mean it's nice. I don't know these individuals here, but please deliver that to Tom, if you will. And truly, to follow Mr. Maldonado and the other council members, this first year has gone by extremely quick, but it's been a wonderful first year. I look around the city and I look at what we've accomplished in the last 12 months, and I say kudos to staff. You've done a great job. Time and time again, we ask you to reach out a little further, and you do it. Some of you cover 2 and 3 departments. You never ever say no. You keep digging deeper, and I appreciate that. With that said, I want to thank my council for standing by us. If you look at how many yes votes that we had, how many yes votes that we voted unanimous on, we are definitely together. And it's been an honor to serve with you this year, and I look forward to the new year with each and every one of you. We've got some great things on the horizon for Homestead. I speak Friday before the day delegation downtown Miami, and I've got my little 3 to 5 minute speech ready, and it's easy. It's memorized. It's in my head because we have so many great things we've accomplished and so many great things that are before us. And with that said, to each and every one of you, please have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and a very safe holiday. And to the citizens of Homestead, I thank you. I look forward to 2011. I look forward to representing you as your mayor, and I look forward to working with this council and the staff members here. With that said, I ask for a motion to adjourn, and everyone have a wonderful holiday season. Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much.